at Control Course and Control Productions, and today's video is well overdue. We are going to talk about the importance of having a good shoe and what actually is a good shoe and how you can break in your shoes if you're just starting your heels journey or if you've been already doing your heels journey and you just need a reminder. So if you have those questions, this video is for you, so stay tuned. So a common question that I always get is, what is a good shoe to dance in? And having a good heel to dance in compared to a good going out heel for a girl's night out is completely different. So I'm going to show you an example of a really good shoe. So here is an example of a very good shoe to have for heels class. So let's start with the heel inch, right? So you want to make sure that you don't get something that you're uncomfortable with. You want to make sure you get a heel that you're comfortable with, especially when you're starting out with your heels journey. So something that's 2 inches, 3 inches, and I believe it goes all the way up to 4.5 or 5 inches. So you want to make sure that you're really being cautious of how high your heel is, depending on how high your arch goes in your foot. Then you want to move on to an open toe shoe. As you can see, this heel has a open toe where your feet, your first 2 little toes should be, or maybe 3, should be able to come through and spread out. This also gives you the ability to expand your toes, kind of feel the ground, create some friction and grip, stop and maneuver your weight whenever you're dancing or walking in your heels. You also want to make sure that when you get a shoe that it has this bottom, but you see how it's kind of worn in. So you want to make sure when you get your shoe that you scuff it on the ground. I usually scuff mine like on the actual street, because when you get a brand new shoe, all of this is super smooth. And so when you go inside of a dance studio or if you're on stage, you want to create some type of friction and you're not dancing on a smooth material and another smooth material. This is how we can slip and fall and cause injury. So you want to create some type of friction here at the bottom of your heel. Moving on up, I prefer something with laces. This way you get to determine how tight, how loose you want your heel. If you have socks on, if you don't have socks, if you have stockings, leggings, whatever may change from class to class or performance to performance, you want to make sure that you're able to adjust. And then also moving on to the back of the shoe, we have a zipper here that opens up to help again with that flexibility if you have socks on, if you don't have socks, if you're bare feet in your shoe. And then this also goes all the way up to the ankle. This is super important that you want to make sure that your heels go all the way up past your ankle, and this zipper helps to lock in that ankle support. So when you feel like you're about to fall or feeling a little wobbly, your ankles are nice and tight with the help of the string and the help of the zipper. So having these 2 aspects will really make a difference in your heels journey. And also it'll help if there is a little bit of cushion. I don't know if you guys can see, but a little bit of cushion here with the inside of your shoe. So just reviewing the good basis of a really good shoe, you want to make sure that you determine your height off of how high your arch can go within your foot. Then you want to make sure that you have a open toe shoe where maybe your first 2 to 3 toes can go through and expand for that traction and that grip. Then you want to make sure that you get something where you have some laces, and then you want to also make sure you have a zipper here in the back. Last thing I want to mention is that you want to make sure that you don't get too stiff of a material of a shoe. As you can see, I can bend the material within the shoe. So that means my feet will be nice and breathable. I will be able to move my feet freely, but also have some really good stability. So I hope that was super informative and really straight to the point on what makes a really good heel to dance in for class. Another frequent asked question that I get all the time is, where can I purchase some really good heels without breaking a bank? Literally, y'all, Amazon, when you're first starting out, have really good shoes, good quality. They also look very similar to this, making sure that they have all the qualities that we just went over. You'll be able to find some really affordable shoes. I'll link some at the bottom of this video. And then we also have like your local stores like Rainbow, Got the Look, depending on where you are located. You have those stores that are a little bit more cheap. As long as those shoes follow the structure of this and you're you're just trying it out, maybe you want to start your heels journey, maybe not, I wouldn't say go ahead and invest $100+ if this is not something that you're serious about. I would say maybe get a good $25-$30 shoe, maybe $50 shoe if you're just taking class here and there. Now, if you get serious about your heels journey and you really want to grow and train, then it's time to invest in some good quality shoes. These are Burju. This is the logo here at the bottom. I will also link these shoes below. But as you can see, like we talked about, these are nice and scuffed in and worn in. And these shoes will last you about a year, depending on how much wear and tear you're doing on your shoes. Let me show you my shoes. I've had these for quite some time. So you can see, like, we're starting to peel here. Mine are super worn in here. Also, like I talked about, that breathable material. As you can see, I'm kind of missing the cap at the bottom of my shoe, but y'all, I got these shoes way back when, and they're still holding up. If I do some maintenance to my shoes, I will be able to still wear these and perform safely and take class safely in these. But this is what they'll start to look like over time. So that's why I'm like, it's super important to invest in a good shoe, because imagine paying for a $30 shoe and my $100 shoes look like this. You know what I mean? So those $30 shoes ain't gonna last, because you're twirling and you're falling to the ground and you're walking and you're scuffing your shoes throughout class and performances. So you want to make sure you get a nice hardy shoe. And it took some time for my shoes to actually get to this point. They start off, these ones are a little bit newer, so they start off, you know, nice and clean, scuffed. Well, they don't come scuffed, but you scuff them, and then the material is way more put together. Mine was like super flabby because I'll just keep pulling my strings nice and tight for that ankle support. But yeah, that's my easy suggestions. Amazon, your local store, or if you're ready to invest, I would say go Burju. There's other sources out there that you can get your heels from. That is just the ones that I recommend. I haven't tried out those brands, so I don't want to put y'all in the wrong direction. But literally, my first shoes was from SHEIN. Again, SHEIN is good. I also forgot to mention that my first shoes was from SHEIN, and they lasted me a really good time. They had the cushion I mentioned. They had all of these components, and it helped me. And then my family, my control course family, helped to make that investment for me to get these, and I've had them ever since. And I do have a whole bunch of new shoes. Shout out to Burju for sending us a box of shoes. This is an example of a really good shoe, and that is an example of different places where you can shop to purchase depending on your budget. So I hope that this video was helpful. Share this out to your fellow dancer if they have the same questions. That is a major question that I get all the time, so I was like, why not just make a video for you guys here in the dance studio, going in depth so you can really understand why it's important of getting a good shoe and why it's important to make that investment depending on how serious you are. Make sure that your shoes are comfortable and your arch is not too much in a strain when you're dancing, because it'll be super uncomfortable. So if you got to start off at that 2-inch and make your way up to 2.5 and 3 and so on and so forth, do that so you are successful in your dance journey, you are safe on the dance floor, and you're making sure that everybody else around you is safe as well. So I hope that this was helpful, and if you guys have any other questions about dance or materials, clothes, fashion, how to show up to class, what should be in your dance bag, let me know below, and I can make more videos like this if you guys really enjoyed. And I hope that this was helpful. So I will see you guys on the next YouTube video, and don't forget to subscribe to Control Productions.